So all around the world, there's a heat wave taking place, sadly, in many parts of the world. I was shocked that in Italy, the temperature is close to 50 in some parts. A reminder of global warming and the attention that that we as an international community need to be addressing the global warming and the climate change. But that is not our topic today. Our topic is addressing the apartheid wall in the occupied territories. We have a special guest with us, Claire Anastas. Many of you know Claire Anastas from certain documentaries or interviews or media content around that has been around and has been actually viral in many parts of the world. The house of Claire Anastas lies inside Bethlehem, very close to Rachel Tomb, to the checkpoint 300 in Bethlehem. It is surrounded from three sides by the wall. Claire will be speaking about her story and her family's story later on. I just want to thank everybody who is who's joining us today. I hope the temperature are not as high as it is in Jerusalem and Palestine. It's 37 degrees. It was 40 degrees 2 days ago in certain parts of the country. It reached 45 degrees in some parts around the Jordan Valley. So it's a very difficult period, especially for young kids who are at summer camps. But from Jerusalem, from Sabil, as we let more people into the meeting, I just want to say thank you for being with us in another week, Sabil Kumi week. And I am happy to introduce Claire. Claire, can you please make sure that you're unmuted? Thank you very much for being with us, Claire.
Thank you for having me to speak, especially about the new information about the wall and how we are struggling after they built the wall in 2003. Because
Claire, sorry to interrupt, but before we go into the wall to talk about the wall, let's talk about Claire Anastas. So could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm Claire Anastas. I'm a mother for 4 children. My specialize is business administrative assistant. I have my own business in the past, but I created another one related to the wall in my isolated corner where we are living in a small shop. And I built up a guest house with my husband in the same building in order to invite the tourists to come and stay and have the experience how to live surrounded by the wall. And second, to protect our family from the Israeli army, because they stopped coming in after we opened this guest house. Because after they built the wall, they came in again and again, and they were staying in our place, in our building, in my apartment and on the roof for 7 years. And we couldn't accept to have them after they built the wall psychologically, because there were no reason for them, but we never know why. But we could know recently how they are on purpose interfering my family in a different way. They are attacking us in order to force us to leave. And seriously, all the family have left, who are staying now in this building, 3-floor building, only me, my husband, and my son. All the other family have left. The other son is studying abroad, but he doesn't want to come back. He's willing to find a way to go and work somewhere else. The same with my daughters. One of my daughter got So to live here, as we are attacked now psychologically and forcing us to leave because we refuse to sell the house for the Israeli army. They promised to take it for free. So if we empty the place, of course they can take it. And if we don't empty the place, they are following us in different ways. I will mention some of the things they followed us with to destroy our income and to let us live under more pressure, more tense, more worries and stress. So after they built the wall in 2003, I reopened a shop because it's flooded 3 years and nobody accepted to fix it until an ambassador who came and became friends with the family, he funded the project and fixed it. So we could reopen one of the small souvenir shops because when it's flooded, it destroyed everything we had. My husband used to sell as a wholesaler newspaper parts for cars. It was all damaged, but he has to move the machines to have an income for the 14 members, and 9 of them were children and the old sick mother at that time in the past. So he moved the garage and built the barracks beside the Church of Nativity, where it's supposed to be area controlled by Israel, by Palestinians completely. So he opened a small barracks to hold the machines to start an income. And I opened again a small souvenir shop because when it's flooded, we lost everything in the store and we throw it away. So to bring tourists here, it became now almost impossible. Within a year, I might have 5 times people who know us, who came to visit the shop and visit the place. Even as I've been in the States for a conference recently, I met a woman. She told me, "Oh, I just came back from Bethlehem. I was sleeping in the refugee camps with. I went there through a Palestinian association, and it's supposed to bring us to your place because it is a terrible place. We were just 3 meters far away from your place because they took us the last spot to see Banksy's hotel and the art for Obama, not Obama, the American Prime Minister, not Obama, the other one,
Trump.
Trump. So she told me we were there and it is very close to my house. And why they didn't bring us to your place? I told her, Ma, that's our questions we always ask. Why they always avoid to bring tourists to our isolated, unique corner? I told them I feel that because I'm having small souvenir shop to support the family and the people who make the work. So we don't know the reason actually. And even to open a guest house through a booking, the Israelis are military hacked it and they are hurting us. And we didn't know that because we couldn't prove it at all until last 7 years ago, before COVID started. The Israelis army in one midnight in 7 years ago, they occupied 6 mechanic workshops in Bethlehem. And one of the garages was ours. While it's in a weird land, nobody can find it. It's really hard to find the place. There's no address registered in the computer, in the Palestinian computer, because it's a barracks, not a real store, but just to have an income. So my husband has to serve the other mechanics to work. So they occupied our garage and took everything. They didn't leave one screw in it to work with, neither the machines. And they closed it with a special lock. We were not allowed to open it. So the Israeli army met our leaders, telling them, oh, it was by mistake that we occupied Johnny's Anastas garage, but we cannot reopen it until he sue us in the Supreme Court in Israel. So who can sue Israel? We need to hire a Jewish lawyer or a strong lawyer. We asked the Palestinians to fund it for us because we were 6 mechanics in Bethlehem,
But
in our community.
if I may, some of you who have seen the documentary of Yasmin Pernia on the Stones Cry Out, at the end, it has a section about the story of Claire Anastas and the wall around her house. Is it okay for a few minutes I share the story so that to make sure that everybody knows it, Claire? I'm going to share it now on the screen. One second.
After the siege, Israel began to build the wall, an imposing 8-meter-high concrete barrier throughout the West Bank and around Bethlehem. Israeli officials claimed the wall was designed to keep suicide bombers from reaching Israeli towns and cities.
During the Second Intifada, Israel started building this wall of separation, which made the little town of Bethlehem as little as 4 square miles.
And one day, when the children went to school, they returned back, they find this wall surrounded our house. It was raining day, and they saw a high ghost around the house. And they went up quickly with the tears and cried.
Once located on the biblical road from Jerusalem to Bethlehem, near Rachel's tomb, Claire's apartment had the best view of the city. In a matter of hours, her house was transformed into a tomb. The view from her windows was wall-to-wall gray cement slabs.
For a while, I just felt that there's no hope. At the same moment, actually, when they put the walls, when I saw my children crying, I thought to go down and kill the soldiers. That's what I felt. Even we are Christian, we should love our enemies. Of course, I will never do it. My youngest son, his name is Daniel. He was the only one who could speak at that moment. And he said, Mom, after like what we lived with and after what we suffered and borne, and we lived in a horrible life for many years. This is the end, is to bury us alive in a big tomb forever. Actually, I couldn't answer him or speak one word. I just hugged them and cried.
When it comes to Israel, all rules change. And I think many churches, unfortunately, don't have the courage. Like, you know, it's not only the churches, it's also many countries in the world. They don't have the courage to speak truth to power when it comes to Israel.
The new harsh reality was a sudden divorce after centuries of close interaction.
I think that for some of you who haven't been to Bethlehem and don't know the house of Claire Anastas nor the story, I think that should have been a little bit helpful to introduce you to the story of Claire. So since the building of the wall, and it's a very big wall that fully surrounds the house of Claire Anastas and her family. When did you start the hostel or the guest house, Claire? And can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, I started building the guest house in my mother-in-law apartment after they built the wall in 2004, because they built the wall at the end of 2003, before Christmas time.
And how many rooms do you have? Like, how many guests can you welcome?
I can host from 20 to 24 guests. We have 7 rooms. Each room has its private toilet and shower.
And I mean, it's being you're in at an area that it is surrounded by the wall, close to the Rachel tomb. It's a high tension place. Even there's a military tower not very far from your house, with soldiers overlooking what you're doing. There's cameras targeting your house. So you live like, in a way, like in a prison. Is this how you feel?
Yes, this is how we feel, and my children doesn't want to stay, because it became a safe place for tourists when they stay here. As the Israeli army told the tourists that you are in this area controlled by Israel and you are safe. And then at the same time, we are buried alive in this tomb. And the people, when they came and they had the experience how to live surrounded from 3 sides, even the garden, every window located to the wall. In my apartment, because I'm in this side, it's closed, because we have, in every floor, we have 2 apartments. So I'm at the wall side. So I'm blocked and completely closed, surrounded by the walls. And imagine when the tourists came in, that avoid the Israeli army never could come again inside the building, because they used to occupy in midnight and interfere my family and my children most of the nights. So that saved us as a family. But since they followed us and hacked my website and the accommodation registration, we are not having so many tourists coming in. So they texted me telling me, sorry?
You mentioned that you have 4 children, and only now your son is living with you and your husband, and I mean, it's
yes.
So it's the 3 of you. The rest of the kids are living where currently?
One have left to study in the state, and he's willing to find a work somewhere else after he will finish. My daughter left to England. She have lived for 9 years there. She didn't want to come back. And the other daughter have get married.
So you are living, it's not easy to live with all of the tension and with all of the challenges that people are having. It's not only about the view, it's an area that it's very difficult to live while you're 24/7 being watched over by soldiers. But also your husband,
Sorry, there is a question. There's someone asked a question I would love to answer. The only way to book is to contact us through our contacts, WhatsApp and email. And Omar,
can you share it in the chat, the information?
Yes, I will share it for everybody. It's
so people can send you directly if they don't want to use the
yes, and through WhatsApp and contact as well. Because they told me that we hacked everything and we destroyed your income and how you are living. Imagine. They were curious, asking this question seriously, and they texted me to ask for that. So
with your yes, I know that they're trying to impose multiple challenges over you. I mean, trying to make you also leave this place or to leave your home. So people can write you an email to book to book a stay as individuals are welcome, but also as groups, as long as they're smaller.
As groups as well, because we do offer bed and breakfast.
Yes, and can you offer
It's a homemade
dinner
breakfast.
or,
Sorry.
and
We
what,
can do a dinner for, like extra for who would like to have dinner.
and currently the people who come and stay at your place, they are usually young people, individuals, groups. What?
Actually, we recently had only, we are having only friends who know us, not more than that.
So in a way, if people want to also to bring some support or some to support your presences by doing more marketing or promoting your place. So if you know people who are traveling to the area, if you know people who are people who write travel blogs, it's good to recommend the place of Claire Anastas to give it more visibility. Sadly, it's a very long wall and it goes through most of the West Bank, dividing the West Bank into smaller and smaller sections. But I personally believe that the place of Claire Anastas is a special place. It's a unique place that is surrounded by on three sides by the wall, and it's a part of supporting a local family, but it's also in a way to interact with the wall that you wouldn't find it possible in different parts. There's also the Banksy Hotel with the worst view. So there seems to be a growing, it's part of the reality of life, sadly, in Bethlehem, that it's the wall and the occupation has become part of the reality of visiting Bethlehem. And some places, sometimes they try to hide the occupation, and sometimes you try to make it visible. So you have all of the clear. So you're trying to do a hotel or a guest house. You're trying to stay in the house where most of your family has actually left the building. It's not easy. You face challenges. I mean, it is a part of the wall. And a part of the cyber attacks and the challenges that you face. Is there also does the army get into your neighborhood? Do they cross this side of the wall, or it's only just done from the outside, from the military towers?
No, they are entering when there is a tense situation in the area for security. But when there is a tourist, they don't come close to my building. That's how we are protected.
That's the logic.
Because they watch the guests from their cameras. If there is one guest in our guest house, they don't come in.
So that's, I mean, and that's true for everywhere. I mean, and that's the logic of the World Council of Churches.
Yes, of course, because it's not good for their reputation. And it is so important for Israel. The title said tourism. The tourism is so important to keep it in a good, high and great position, because they encourage the tourists to come, and they never accept or to hear that tourists are interfered by the Israeli army. That something hurts so much their reputation in the tourism system, in the whole system they make. Because I will tell you something, they are hurting us as well through, because I'm having a small souvenir shop. The tour agencies in Israel and even the Arab side are not accepting to bring and share some groups, to bring them, especially who wanna learn about the wall. They are not stopping bringing them to my place just because I'm having a small souvenir shop. They told me, open a big one with diamond and jewelry to ask to get through the competition. I can't do that, yani. So for that, I'm not having groups through the tour agencies offices in Israel. and they are controlling on the programs for every tourist group enter Israel. Only the Palestinian associations who don't care about us as well. And as I told you, an experienced American lady who experienced this, and she told me that, not me. I didn't see them coming in.
And you mentioned earlier that not only that you're having problems only at your house or at the hotel now, you're also having problems with your husband is one of 6 car mechanics shops that the Israeli army went into Bethlehem and closed them.
One midnight, they occupied 6 Christian mechanic workshops. They took everything in the garage.
When did this take place? What year?
I don't remember. I'm bad in remembering the exact year, but it was 7 years ago.
Okay.
I will make sure and send you.
Okay, so it has been like for 5 or 6 years, the Israeli army went into Bethlehem and completely closed and confiscated the equipment of 6 car mechanic shops. That, I mean, in Bethlehem.
And they closed it with a special lock. We were not allowed to open it, even though this car mechanic workshop is in Area A, is controlled by Palestinians completely.
So they went into Bethlehem, the Palestinian area, and they locked them down and confiscated the equipment. And I mean, why wouldn't?
And my husband's garage were just a few meters beside the Church of Nativity, where I was born.
And why doesn't like the Palestinian, like to help not only our international friends but also for us Palestinians? So, like, how did
the Palestinians told us, you should sue Israel's government in the Supreme Court in Israel from your own income. We told them to open the income, open the garage to start from the zero, to have an income to pay for the case. If you don't accept to fund it, for us as 6 Christian mechanic workshops have closed, destroyed the income. We have workers, we pay them salaries. They need to survive. We should pay it for them. Even it's not their mistake, that their problem that our garages were shut off. And they told us, we cannot help you in anything.
And did you go to, I mean, it's so Israel, this case has taken like 6 or 7 years when the Israeli army went into Bethlehem and closed and confiscated your equipment. Have you followed up with like going to an Israeli?
After some months, we had to register all our property in the bank to get a loan to sue Israel in order to open the garage. After 9 months from the case, they reopened the garage, and they told us after 5 years follow up with the case, the judges in the Supreme Court answered my husband, and they threatened him, telling him, hey, it can happen anytime. For security reasons, we do make mistakes, and it can happen, and we apologize for you, but we cannot fund you or give you compensation.
No
and
compensation.
If you keep the case open, we will charge you high fees for interrupting the judges in the Supreme Court.
So like no compensation, although they've recognized they've
So they've seen my husband crying because he cannot pay for the lawyer. We registered with him to pay him double percentage at the end after he received some compensation, or at least to bring back our old machines to start an income.
Did they give back the machines or no?
No, but that's our problem.
So they've confessed that it was a problem.
After that, they texted me telling me, we did this and occupy your garage, and we are hacking your website and your accommodation. I used to sell online through my website. They hacked it and they closed it. I cannot sell online for more than 7 years. Before they occupied my husband's garage, I was stuck with closing my website. I will write it down. You can see how it is closed. Nobody can contact me to sell online, to buy online. they texted me telling me, I want to tell you something. We hacked your accommodation. We hacked your website so many long time ago. We occupied at the end your husband garage and took everything and closed it. And it is closed. How you are eating bread? I told them, it's from God. Jesus is taking care of us, but just leave us alone. They said, no, we cannot leave you alone because you refuse to sell your house. We're gonna take it for free. I told them, how you're gonna take it for free? We are paying you taxes improper, and they cannot take my house as I'm in smartly. I continued paying Israelis side property taxes as it should be in Oslo because of Oslo agreement as well. But we figured out that 12 years ago, when the Israeli army met us, me and my husband, threatening us, asking, you are smart, Anastas, because you paid us taxes. That's how we couldn't demolish your house or take it. But later on, they sent us Palestinian leaders from Bethlehemite office to threaten my husband and force him to pay them property taxes and not to be paid for Israel directly. And they told us in a lie that they are the one who's gonna pay Israel. And my husband trusted them. After I heard this, after 12 years ago, I heard this message. I insisted to go to Beit El, where the Israeli army in Ramallah, and they have all the papers for who pay property taxes legally and everything. And even neither Palestinian side or Israeli side are not accepting us to register or write our property, the land and the house under our name. It's still under the father's name who passed away 28 years ago. So when I went to Beit El, just a minute, when I went to Beit El to ask and check the computer in my eyes to make sure that the property taxes have been paid through Palestinians, as they told us, the Palestinian workers who work in Beit El there for us, they were laughing at me. They said, nobody paid 12 years ago. So that now we are stuck. We don't know to whom we are belong to ask for one justice.
So you feel
there is something planned underground, under the table, we call it, with forcing us not to ask, not to know what's going on until we lose the house for the Israelis in a big plan.
And you believe that it is that you feel that it's some people also in from the Palestinian side, whether from the authority or from the municipality, are cooperating with Israel to achieve this.
I can't tell something, I can't prove it. But when they threaten us not to move or do anything or never give us any open floor for making the formal papers, what you can tell about them? They force us even not to make the taswiyah and tabu. They forced us not to make it. They said, leave everything, which it is dangerous, risk, especially now after we knew that there's nobody paid the property taxes. When my husband went back to the Palestinian officer, asking him, why you lied and telling me that you paid my property taxes and I trusted you, and that's the risk to lose my house. He said, it's not your business. You are paying us legally. We changed Oslo. My husband told him, show me the evidence that something changed Oslo law. There's nothing said that Oslo changed the law. He kicked my husband out and telling him, you are legally, and it's not your business to ask more, and get out. And that's it. And he threatened him. So we are in between politics playing game against us. If we lose the house, both will get benefits. That's my opinion. Israel will get the house, Palestinian Authority will get the money and put it in their pocket and never compensate us, because they never accept to give us any one compensation from what we lost. Since the second intifada, since 1996, we lost our 3 big businesses in the same building. They refused. They forced us not to sue Israel to ask for compensation. They threatened us.
What do you mean, like when you say
And
that
they didn't ask.
Claire,
they didn't give us compensation. The
Claire,
United
when you
Nations
say-
gave them.
Sorry, I'm asking, when you say they forced you not to do it, not to go to court, how did they do this? The Palestinians?
When we asked the governor, and they told us you should tell us everything you want to do. And they refused. They said, don't do that. Don't do this. So to whom we all belong to? We need to know. And once my mother-in-law, when she was alive, before she got the stroke, she insisted to go to Bethlehem court to open a case, to make the Taswiya papers, the Tabu papers under her children before she passed away, because she had stroke and she was healed in America, and then she was afraid that she might have it again from the stress and depression we've been living through. So we went to, she opened a case in Bethlehem court, the internal security in Bethlehem, المخابرات الفلسطينية. I don't know what you call it in English, the internal security in Bethlehem. They called her, she went with my husband. In a kind smile way, they asked her to close the case, telling her, don't get your children into a bad risk. So close the case, don't do the papers. So if Israel are following us economically, my children who have left, they are asking me to leave. And because I refused, me and my husband, to protect this house, imagine if we lose it, how they will affect. I'm sorry. Even economically, nobody is helping us. The EIPPI, in the past, they used to bring groups to hear the story briefly for 5 minutes. They stopped that. Everybody's stopping to bring people to help us even economically. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, but it seems nobody wants to save the humanity and justice for Palestinian people or rights. So we cannot ask for any right and justice since long time. We lost 3 big businesses in 100,000s. We worked hard to build it up. Nobody allowed us to open a case to ask for compensation. We have many detailed stories in politics. We can't mention it, actually.
I mean, this is extremely frustrating, extremely sad that it's piles and piles of problems. There's no true justice. One feels that everyone is working against us as Palestinians. Also, when you're facing governments on an individual level, facing threats all the time, harassments, it's not easy at all, Claire.
I know, that's why I'm really appreciated, Omar, for Sabil, who let me speak, because I'm fed up not to tell the truth. We cannot just be silent. We cannot. I know it's risky, it's dangerous, but I cannot. We have to choose either to stay and struggle or to leave and lose it. Even we lost everything we worked hard for. And it's not fair. Just because Israel told us that because you didn't accept to sell your house to us, we will take it for free in the future. Imagine. And who's helping them to take it free legally? That's all ashamed.
And behind your house, there's also other neighbors. I mean, all the way up to the wall. There's, I think, 2 more families that live in the same section.
Yeah, but my house is so targeted. I'm very close to the gate of the racist tomb shrine. I will send you later to show the people who are interested to us. I really appreciate it for all Sabil members and people who are listening to the truth. I can send you pictures. You can see even in the video you showed the wall built. If people look at the beside the wall in the middle of the street, they will see a gate. That gate straight ahead is just the gate of racist tomb shrine. So it's just across the street, the gate of the shrine. So tourists and Jewish Orthodox who are visiting this holy shrine, they are so angry from having this wall very close to the gate. So if they remove us, they can demolish the house and remove the wall ahead. That makes it more safe for the Jewish visitors. They don't like, even people are asking to remove this wall. So my house is very, like the stone in the middle of this tomb.
So I mean, I know there isn't much that we can do. I mean, given with the impunity of Israel on all different levels, and it's with the corruption also, sadly, within many Palestinian Authority officials and structures. But one thing that is practical is helping to promote the place. By promoting it, it does 2 good things. One thing, it generates money for the Anastas family and helps them with their livelihood. The second part of it is that it increases international presence in that area, and that could be a form of protection. So many of you are already connected with churches, many of you are already connected with travel agencies. We'd recommend, if you know somebody who's traveling to Palestine, Israel, and they're spending some time in Bethlehem, to spend time at the Claire Anastas guest house, where they can be staying with a Palestinian family, a Palestinian Christian family, also with a family that is surrounded by the wall and firsthand facing the occupation and the injustice. But
and Judges tell the truth that they are victimizing the people, both sides, because recently they stolen in Bethlehem. They are some of our leaders are employing. They are powerful leaders. They are employing gangs to steal our local, mostly Christians, properties in Bethlehem. One of the gang has 53,000 case in the corruption court in Bethlehem. He was in prison. He stolen the lands, and recently, two months ago, this man stolen my dad's land, and he is threatening to steal the other land, and he could steal the first land with a sheet of paper, no stamps. We had the Ottoman time papers stamped. We couldn't protect it in the corruption Bethlehemite court. And we need internationals to come to detect, to protect us, otherwise we're gonna leave. Because what left from our community is minority, and we became less powerful. No leader defending us. We talked to Ramzi Khouri. I talked to him. He's been promising for years to stop these gangs. One guy is they are now making more gangs because it became benefits for money. So our leaders are asking for money, not for Palestine. That's the truth. And as much as they stolen in the corruption court our property, as much as they became rich, and we lose everything. So I lost my last 3 months, I lost my dad's land. And there is another one, he's promising to steal it. We tried to put a fence. He stopped us in the court. He's selling, he's paying, and he has a power in the judges as well. So what's going on in Palestine? Please protect us. I'm appealing leaders to come and monitor our leaders to bring back what's stolen from us. Who can't give them their land, they should get a big loan to give them the jizya tax as they asked. They told me, I heard it from the lawyer, because me and my husband, we have a part of the land from my dad. They told me, pay us 100,000 Jordanian dinars, we will close the case in the court, otherwise we will take the land. And he took it now, because we refused to pay him the money, because we can't. We can't pay 100,000 Jordanian dinars. It's 5 times than the shekel. What we can do, we don't know. I talked to Ramzi Khouri, he promised to do something soon. It has been years. Nobody did anything. And he's still continuing in the court, stealing. One gang, now they employed more gangs, actually, because it became a good business. In Palestine and in Bethlehem especially, because our leaders are connected and powerful, protecting those gangs, and the people cannot go back to any leader to defend themselves. So it's not just Israel now, it's also Palestinians. We are struggling inside as well. For that, my children and my brother's children are forcing us all to leave and leave everything behind, because they want to live the freedom and peace life, because we get threatened, actually. We are on the list even to be killed inside Palestine. So what next? But nobody's defending us at all. I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Claire. I echo many of the people who are saying, you are a brave person first to expose the problem. We know that from many different families, communities, there are parallels, unfortunately, in addition to the Israeli occupation.
The mayor doesn't do anything. Sorry, Omar. Someone asked about the mayor, because the old mayors didn't know that the municipality is giving illegal permission to build buildings on our stolen lands. They give them permission in the municipality. And the mayor didn't know anything about it. He just signed. There's no monitor. Nobody's monitored anything in the city. And we should leave, because we are forced to leave. Sorry, Omar, I interrupted, but this was a good question. To let the people know what's going on, we need your help to come and live with us and see the truth, not more than that. I'm sorry.
No, we know as Sabil, we try to do our best but there's so many challenges that we're facing. It's in addition to the occupation, as I was saying, we have also sadly internal challenges, and it's very frustrating, disappointing. But we choose to stay here. This is our land. It's not. It's our country, and we have to make a difference. And that's why people who are strong, people who are energetic, and people who are creative, who are always trying to find a way out or a change, are necessary in Palestine, but also around the world. We want people who understand the suffering, but also are eager to make a difference.
Even I designed a nativity scene with a removable wall, and I opened the door in the cave for the light where Jesus laid, to show the world that we still have hope from the Lord, who's gonna bring his people to defend and our justice and rights as a human being. We still have hope. That's why we are still staying here. But we need a leader to belong to us, to defend us. Leaders, honest leaders who can do something for our justice from both sides, to protect us from both sides now.
In a way, Claire, you are a leader. يعني, you're at a difficult place. You are a leader. So I mean, it's maybe sometimes you need to keep looking at inside. I mean, internally at yourself. Don't expect help to come from abroad. But we all have a responsibility to help each other. We will send out in the newsletter some recommendations of how you can do. Claire, we appreciate if you send us like a brochure or anything that you have on the guest house, and at least the 55 people on this meeting, we will help in this week to promote your location.
Thank you.
And I will visit you and bring other friends to see how we can show more solidarity and be with you, as Sabil, as also as the local community. Any final words, Claire, from your side?
Sorry?
Any final words from your side, Claire?
I would like to thank you all, and we need your prayers' help, especially for our health, because we don't have any health care insurance. And we need your prayers, seriously.
Thank you, Claire.
And I apologize, sorry.
No, thank you. Thank you for your honesty and for your support.
Thank you so much.
Take care, dear friends, and please hold Claire in your prayers and on your minds. And please look forward to receiving the Sabil Kumi newsletter, and it will include recommendations of how we can practically help Claire. Take care, Claire, and our regards to you and your family, and to everyone in Bethlehem. God bless you and keep up the good work.
God bless you too, and God bless you all. Thank you.